Market expert here in Charlotte. Today we're at the home office. It is a little chilly. I got a ton of stuff to do, so we're not at the other office or one of the other offices. But I hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna wait a little bit for everybody to kind of get logged in here. Not gonna be long today. Probably be about an hour to see if you guys have any questions or anything like that. As always, honestly, feel free to ask me absolutely anything. Real estate related, personal related, whatever you'd like to. There's been a lot of stuff going on with Zillow, with the real estate market and everything like that. So it's I mean, I guess it's an exciting time to say the least. But but yeah, hopefully we'll get some people in here real quick asking some questions and things of that nature. Anything at all, real estate, personal, Charlotte, any other areas that I might be able to help you with. I would gladly answer anything I know or anything that's to my capability. Um, dealing with a lot of craziness going on right now, but it should be good. Let's hope this internet connection's okay. Make sure. Sign in over here. And by the way, I do want to say, I do have my computer here. So if there's any questions about a particular neighborhood, or if you're interested in any specific stats about anything like that, obviously just let me know. I have everything accessible right here. So we'll take it, we'll take it from there. But again, drop any questions that you guys might have down below. It's always extremely awkward when I'm just sitting here kind of, talking to myself. Yeah, sitting here talking to myself. So bring on the questions because I don't want to sit here like I'm Steven Glansberg. If you know who that is, it's not an inside joke, but could be. Hi, hey, how are you? Kurbanov, is that? Don't let me insult you. Is that Russian? Almost USSR. Okay. What brings you to the channel? Are you thinking about moving to Charlotte? Guys, drop any questions whatsoever, anything. And like I said, I'm on my computer too. So if there's a certain neighborhood, if there's a certain house that you might be interested in, you want me to take a look at, you'd like my opinion on it, feel free to let me know. Anything at all you need. Faru says, yes, I'm planning to move next year from Brooklyn, New York. Well, come on down. You won't be the only one from New York. New York's probably going a little bit crazy right now. You guys are having that UFC event tomorrow, which I'm extremely excited for. Extremely excited to watch that. It's probably going to be one of the biggest pay-per-views there is. So I'm stoked. Man, it is always so rough getting these lives started. I should probably do a countdown so I don't have to sit here and just stare at myself on the screen or on this screen. Did anybody that's watching hear about what's going on with Zillow right now? Or what is happening with Zillow right now? Faru, I am planning to rent the house before buying. Any suggestions? No, I mean it's a good idea. most of the time, people that have families and kids and things like that, it's a lot more complicated to move to North Carolina, find a rental, move in the rental, live there 6 months a year, and then do all the moving process again. But if you're single, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, it's a lot easier to kind of get up and move around. Definitely a good option. Just remember, rentals are even tough right now to find. There's a lot of applications going in as soon as something pops up. So most of them are requiring a 1 year lease. You can try to find some short-term rentals here and there, but those are also extremely hard to find. But definitely a good idea. I mean, it's a good way to learn the neighborhoods, and things like that. But I tell people, I mean, when you come and visit and things, it's pretty easy to find which neighborhoods you like and things like that. And when people come to visit, I always try to show them around as much as possible, so that way we can pick out a couple areas, 2, 3 areas that are their favorite within their budget and everything like that. And then we just kind of focus and hone in on those areas and just take it from there, if that makes sense. But yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what, if you are renting, rent's going to be a lot cheaper here in Charlotte than it is in Brooklyn, I'm sure. I heard Brooklyn's been blowing up in a good way. I need your help, people. Send me some questions. Come on, send me some questions. Let's see. Okay, we got Faru in here. I have a family and 2 kids. I was in Valentine last month. I like the place. Looks like school is good. Definitely, Valentine's a very popular place. It's one of like the most common, places that people mention when I talk to them about moving here. It seems like everybody knows, about Valentine. It's definitely nice. It's more upscale. I would definitely say that. A lot of growth is going to be happening over there and is happening currently. And that's one of the things Ballantyne's known for. It's really new. It's really new. It's got some beautiful houses. Wealthy people live there. And they're very, very well known for their schools. Ardrey Kell is, it's one of those schools where, people travel and put their kids in, kind of at all costs. I don't have kids, so I don't know the ins and outs of that school district, but I do know it's very good and it's banked very high. But yeah, man, I mean, you know, if you can find a house there, it's definitely a good option. It's definitely one of those places that's kind of like a safe bet, you know. If you kind of don't know where you're moving to, Ballantyne's one of those, safe bets. You can almost move anywhere in Ballantine and you'd have made a good decision. Because it's not crazy huge, but it's a great area. It's a great area. Um, a lot of traffic on Johnston Road, though. A lot of traffic, more than usual. Usually it's a lot of congestion and things like that, but during prime time rush hour, you'll get a lot of traffic on Johnston Road. But other than that, I would live in Ballantyne easily, easily. It's definitely one of those places that's nice. We got 5 people watching. Faru is the only one asking questions, which I really do appreciate, my friend. Anybody else, just keep them coming, and we'll go from there. If you're wondering why I'm looking this way, it's because I have my computer here. So like I said, if you need any info, if you're looking at want to look at some stats, whatever the case, let me know. I can type it all in and kind of give you my input, and if I think something might be accurate, inaccurate, and things like that. Has everybody that's watching on here heard about Zillow? What's going on with them, or no? Drop something in the comment box and let me know if you do or don't. It's interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I'm guessing the 6 people that are watching don't have YouTube accounts, which means that you can't comment. It's 2022 almost, people. We got to get YouTube accounts. Faru, looks like market slowed down a little, but how is the market in Charlotte? It has a little bit, like I said before, right now is a really good time for buyers because yeah, the market does slow down, and I've already seen a lot of people, take their foot off the gas, which is exciting. I've been able to help people get get a house under asking price, at asking price, and obviously above, just depending on the house. But yeah, it's getting a little slower, and I personally love it. And now it's not 90 degrees. It's actually a little chilly now. So now I'm not, sweating like crazy showing houses. Yeah, Zillow stopped buying houses. It's insane. It's insane. I never really cared about them. It's a company. It's hard to compare a company with, human interaction like we're doing right now. You can never talk to somebody at Zillow. So I was never worried about them, whatever in the real estate market. I'm just not that type of person. Sean Lee, what's up, Sasha? What's up, man? How are you? Uh, it's Deshaun or Deshane Moore. Is there a lot of availability of houses without HOAs? I would say most of them will have HOAs. If I was to have to put a number on it, definitely more than half. Let's just say 60% of houses will have an HOA, which is a lot. Usually if a house is built 1980 plus, you'll see an HOA on it. If it's a little bit older, 60s, 70s, you probably won't see an HOA on it. That's just a little bit of rule of thumb I go by. So if somebody, sends me a house or asks me a question, without having to look it up, I can usually know if a house has an HOA or not. Good news is for single family houses in subdivisions, if you do have an HOA, it's usually nothing crazy. I mean, even on the higher end houses, five, six, $700,000. Even those houses, their HOA is like five, six, seven, 800,000, $800 a year. Which isn't a ton. You got condos and townhouses here that HOAs two, three, four, $500 a month. So it's not bad at all. Like I said, most of it, if you're looking at a house, from 3 to 500,000, HOA is going to be, within two to 400, $200 to $500 a year. So not bad at all. Okay, let's see. Lim, hi. Do you think house prices will drop a lot in 2022? Like people who bought houses in 2020, will house price drop so much that they will lose equity? So that's a good question. I personally don't see that happening just because we don't have any inventory. We don't have any inventory, and we have a ton of buyers to fulfill that inventory. A lot of people that did buy in 2020, they've seen a major spike in equity, obviously depending on the house itself. So, if for example the market dropped 10%, they still are probably going to be positive. People made 10, 15, 20% equity in their houses if they bought in 2020. So, it's interesting. Honestly, nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen. You'll know. Real estate is always slow. Real estate isn't the stock market. The stock market, when it opens up, it can take a dip. It can drop 20, 30% in an instant. Real estate doesn't do that. Real estate is usually slow. So if you're subscribed to my channel, which, if you're not, you need to, if this is a concern of yours, because I do my monthly market reports. And when I do them, you'll see inventory climbing up. You'll see the prices going down. And obviously, it's a graph, there's trajectory. So if you see that happening, then you can see, oh man, prices are starting to go down. I might lose equity. Or if you're a buyer, oh, maybe I should buy now because prices are slightly decreasing and the interest rates are still good. Or maybe I should wait it out another couple months and see what happens. But if you're just keeping up with the market updates, honestly, you'll be fine. And also, it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you buying a house for yourself? Is this an investment property? Are you only looking to live somewhere for, 1 to 3 years, whatever the case is? A lot of people overthink and they end up not doing anything. I started in real estate over 4 years ago, about 4.5 years ago. And people 4.5 years ago were telling me, Sasha, there's no inventory and the houses are too expensive. And we had just under 3 months of inventory, which is still low, and it was competitive even almost 5 years ago. But look what happened. Some people never pulled that trigger, and now it's like, what? Now it's like that same house that you could have bought, at 225. Now you're paying 350 for if you would have bought it 4.5 years ago. So do what's right for you at the end of the day, guys. Just do what's right for you. Don't jump around too much. If you're an investor, obviously you need to be a lot smarter about your money because you can lose everything, depending on, if you're over leveraging. Faru, can Zillow sell out, decrease the price, and increase availability? Can Zillow sell out, decrease the price, and increase availability in Charlotte? So to answer your second question, they can't increase the availability in Charlotte because all their houses are already on the market. What Zillow can do is they can drop the prices in certain neighborhoods. Because if you're in a neighborhood that has, mostly two, three, let's say 3, 4 bedroom houses, they're all roughly about the same, built in the same year. And if Zillow owns 4 houses in that neighborhood, and all of a sudden, those houses are selling for 450, Zillow wants to get rid of them. They sell them for 410. Guess what? Now you put your house on the market, and whoever's offering you that money on your house looks at the comparable sales, which are going to be those Zillow homes. So they're going to say, hey, your house is nice. You put it on there for 450, but guess what? These Zillow houses sold for 410. So I'm going to offer you 415, 420 because your house is a little bit nicer. So yeah, I mean Zillow can have an effect in this market depending on how many properties they own in the certain areas. So it's interesting. I actually should make a video on that because that's a very, very good question. I like that question. Sean Lee, where do you reference the info of the market? So Sean, I used our MLS data, which it doesn't get more accurate than that. Our MLS data is for the Charlotte metro, so Charlotte and the surrounding suburbs and things like that. So it has everything. It has the houses sold by Zillow, everything. So it's honestly the most accurate data. And what these big companies do is if you're looking at Charlotte, they take the data from the MLS. They have realtors that work at that company, and they'll get that data for you. I like this question. Deshaun Moore, what area would you consider middle class in Charlotte? Not upper middle class, just old school USA middle class. Area. Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Just old school middle class, I would say West Charlotte. West Charlotte. West Charlotte has some affordable housing. The areas, it has a lot of areas that are nicer, and things like that. A lot of the other areas are very expensive, man. I mean, south, north, even some parts of West Charlotte, and obviously when you get out in the suburbs, it's more expensive. But in regards to your question, I would say, well, west of Charlotte. Sean Lee, how often, Sasha, do you see distressed opportunities for add value? So Sean, you see him, man. You do see him, and honestly, a lot of the stuff right now that's on the market, that's sitting there, that's not selling, they are distressed properties. There are houses that were built in the '70s, '80s, and the owner hasn't done a renovation on it for 30 years. So it depends on how distressed you're looking for. Are you looking for the roof? The roof's about to cave in, or are you just looking for something to go in, paint, carpet, do a decent remodel of the bathrooms and kitchen? But there's a lot of distressed houses out there right now. And like I said, those are the ones that are sitting on the market. Those are the ones that are sitting for 100 plus days. Because from my personal experience, buyers want something that's move-in ready. You know, it's tough. A lot of people don't have the vision of what a house could be. And I sometimes struggle with that. I've been in houses before with some of my investor clients, and they're looking around, they're like, oh man, this is going to be crazy amazing when I get done with it. And I'm like, man, this is a shithole. I don't see what you're gonna do with it. And then they buy it, and I come back in 6 months, and the house is insane. It's absolutely stunning. So it took me a couple years to kind of figure that out. Oh, we can knock this wall down. We can put a beam right here. We can build this patio out over here. We can use this enclosed sunroom, make an extra bedroom. So it took me a very long time to learn that. But now I see these opportunities. So, for someone like you that looks like you want a distressed property, if we were to go look at houses together, I'd be able to tell you, hey, this might be an opportunity. This is where you can add value to it. This is where you can add square footage, XYZ. So, I hope that answers your question. But yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Just right now, a lot of buyers, I would honestly say, 98% of buyers just want something move-in ready. They want to buy their house and they want to move in 1 month. They don't want to wait, They don't want to wait a couple months to do renovations. If you got paint and carpet, that's one thing, but as soon as you start putting in bathrooms, kitchen, things like that, it's tough. And especially right now, contractors are so backed up. I just had a client call me the other day and ask, hey, do you have any contractors that you can help me out with? And I gave him two of them. Both my contractors were 2, 3 months out, and it's rough. And there's an old saying, if you call a contractor or somebody like that and they can get the work done right away, it might not be the best contractor for you, but it seems like all the good ones are kind of taken up and taking time. I'm getting my windows replaced, and I have to wait 12 to 16 weeks, which sucks. But it is what it is. So right now, if you're renovating, you need to have a really good relationship with a contractor, and make sure that contractor, as soon as you close on the property, can get in and start working on that house. You don't want to buy a house, pay a mortgage on it every single month while you're waiting on a contractor, and then the contractor needs 2, 3 months to work on the house, depending on the condition. That's just a lot of money out of pocket you're paying for mortgage, and you're not being able to live in it. You know. Drop some questions, guys. Hit that like button if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. I don't charge a fee. The only fee here is the like button. Faru, any new community building now? Yeah, there's a ton. There's a ton. Honestly, I can't even. Um, I would sit here all day. I would have to sit here for 8 hours and just go over all the communities that are building here. Um, there's a ton. Sean, yes, I see that slot in the industry. Yeah, man, if you're a really good handyman, a carpenter, anything to do with, remodeling or fixing stuff, I mean, you can have so much business. You can have so much business right now just because, like I said, everybody's really busy, everybody's really backed up. So, um, but like I said, there's a shortage. In general, there's a shortage just of people wanting to do hard labor, and people working. You see the job reports out there, and all over Charlotte, I see hiring signs everywhere for, they are lower paying jobs, but if you need money, you should work, but nobody's working right now. And I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it's kind of sad. Deshaun Moore, is it possible to find a home with 3 to 4 acres in Charlotte or just outside of town? So 3, 4 acres in Charlotte is going to be extremely tough. You can, but it's a unicorn. It's something that might pop up, I don't know, once every 2 months maybe, because that's a lot of acreage. But most of the stuff is going to be outside of Charlotte. That's where most of the country land, the farmland is. That's a lot of acreage, my friend. So yeah, you'll most 99% positive you'll have to go, outside of Charlotte. Finding that acreage inside of Charlotte is pretty nuts. Mm. Drop some more questions, guys. I'll be here for another half hour or so. So anything at all you need, just let me know. Any questions, personal and or real estate, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Let's see. Sean said, "Do you see more opportunity in developing neighborhoods or in an established one?" So, I mean, developing neighborhoods, you're always going to have more opportunity as finding a fixer, just because developing neighborhoods, a lot of the houses in those neighborhoods are run down. Established ones, I mean, people are hawking those out like crazy, and a lot of investors are going after those because they know it's a good neighborhood and things like that. But you know if you're looking to buy something like that, it's not going to be cheap. As a distressed property, you'll probably be buying it for 3 to 400,000, and then once you remodel it, you can sell it, or your value could be 5, 600,000, maybe even more, just depending on the renovations. But you're talking some serious money in renovations, because houses in those areas have a lot more square footage. So obviously it costs a lot more to rehab a house that has a lot more square footage. So if you're looking for opportunities for distressed properties, I would say developing neighborhoods, the quote unquote up and coming neighborhoods is the best thing to do. And the good thing about those up and coming neighborhoods, a lot of them are a lot older. So it'll be like the more bungalow style houses. It'll be like the 2, 3 bedrooms that are, 1,000 to 1,500 square feet, and they're older, so there's a higher probability of them being run down than something in a newer development would be. Let's see. What is the town around Charlotte you see up and coming the most as far as home with land opportunity less than 45 minutes from uptown? Um, Off the top of my head, I would say Concord. Concord is going to be one of them, and so it's tricky. A lot less people look at houses with 2, 3, 4 acres. What are you going to do with it? That's a lot of grass to cut, and maintain. Just off the top of my head, yeah, I'd say Concord, and then out there towards Rock Hill near the Catawba River, over there, just because they have a lot of boat landings over there. So if you got a couple acres, you can have your boats. You don't have to worry about HOAs or anything like that. And then you can have boat drop-ins and kayak drop-ins. That's just kind of off the top of my head. I personally don't specialize in way outside of Charlotte or farmland or anything like that. I'm a city guy, I would say. Mm-mm. Let's see. Sean Lee. I saw that Concord, specifically Cabarrus, is one of the fastest growing counties in North Carolina. You see, I'm just that good. Yeah, I mean, Concord is nice. They some company did a partnership with Red Bull, and they're building their headquarters in the Concord area. So you're out of town, so you don't know, but Concord is located in Cabarrus County, so it's the same county. So that headquarters is going to be there, which is supposed to be bringing, I have no idea how many, but it's going to be bringing a lot of jobs to Concord. And obviously, the surrounding neighborhoods, you're going to develop them. If you're bringing 1,000 plus jobs, people need somewhere to live. So a developer is going to buy up some land over there, and build out, and that's how communities grow. And there we go. And Concord just has a lot of land to be built on, and it's a good location. You're right. Depending on where you are, you're close to 485. You're near Harrisburg. You got the Concord Mills Mall, and things of that nature. And the taxes are a little bit lower since you're in Cabarrus County, so it's pretty good. What neighborhood? Okay, what Faru said, what neighborhood to avoid? Faru, my friend, that's honestly a very tough question, man. What neighborhood to avoid? So in Charlotte, there's not that many neighborhoods where you have walkability. So you're not gonna just go on a walk and end up in the wrong side of town. It's just not gonna happen. In order to get to like a bad neighborhood, you kind of need to go out of your way. You know what I mean? And honestly, I can't really say there is neighborhood. I don't spend my time driving around in the ghetto or in the hoods or anything like that. So I honestly, don't know. I've been to some sketchy neighborhoods just outside of Uptown, kind of near West Charlotte and things like that. But even those neighborhoods, you got like a housing project or something like that. And then over here, you got a brand new, condo apartment community built. And it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean? And a lot of the younger kids, younger professionals are moving there. They're buying them and or renting them out and getting a roommate. They don't mind living there. You know, so it's tough. But you visited Charlotte already, Faru. So once you come back, I mean, you'll know if a neighborhood is a bad neighborhood. There's no undercover bad neighborhoods where everything looks good on the outside and then all of a sudden it turns bad after 9 p.m. So it's pretty easy to find out those neighborhoods. It's It's not difficult at all. Sean Lee, honestly, I grew up in a lot of bad neighborhoods and they are mostly being redeveloped. Yeah, it's true. It's not just Charlotte. It's all over. It's all over. Um, uh, Most of like the quote unquote bad neighborhoods, they were closer to the city. So now people want close proximity to the city. So now these developers are buying the bad neighborhoods and just building nice stuff around it. And it's funny how things change. The biggest thing I've ever seen that's absolutely insane is Washington, D.C. D.C. is the craziest area. My brother lives in D.C., and you have people that have been living in these row homes for 30 years that was in the middle of the ghetto, and now they're buying these row homes and they're $1 million homes. So you got a guy that works, on Capitol Hill or something like that, wearing a suit every day to work, and his next door neighbor, you know what I mean? Like, or right, two, three houses down, there's people doing drugs on the street. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But it's happening. I mean, it's very interesting. Sean Lee says avoid Sugar Creek. Yes, so Sugar Creek runs a long way. They're one of the most known places for flooding. They flooded a bunch of times. If we have rain, like a rainstorm for like 3, 4 days or something like that straight, Sugar Creek, certain areas of Sugar Creek are one of those that flood. But Sean, you'll if you've driven around there, you'll see a bunch of redevelopment going on over there too. People buying the small bungalow style houses, knocking them down and building, 5, 6, $700,000 townhome or something like that in that neighborhood. Anybody that can comment, if you don't mind, write down where you guys are watching from. I'm always curious to where people are watching from. Here we go. Zachary Norman found your channel recently. We are considering a purchase in either Charlotte or Raleigh. Might need to connect soon. Zach, yeah, man, reach out to me. Reach out to me. Listen. I tell people all the time. You can't go wrong with either or. My brother lived in the Chapel Hill area, and he loved it. I had the option to go there, obviously. I'm used to a big city. I wanted the big city life. I wanted the professional sports teams. I wanted all that stuff. So that's why I decided, ended up on Charlotte. But, I don't think you can go wrong with Raleigh. It's a very nice place. And it also depends on your situation too. Are you young? Do you have a family? Kind of what you're looking for. Zach, San Francisco, California. Father lived in Greensboro for years, and I fell in love with this state. Zach, if you're from San Francisco, Raleigh's going to be a little bit of a shock for you. Yeah, if you're from San Francisco, that's a major, major hub. So Charlotte might be more up to your speed based off of just that information. Your dad lived in Greensboro for years. Yeah, North Carolina's awesome. It really is, and don't mistake me. I hate when people, take stuff literally. Like when I say like, oh, I love living here. I love Charlotte. I love North Carolina. It is not perfect. No place is perfect, and it never will be. That's just something, it's just not going to be. I don't care where you are. Hawaii is one of the most amazing places, but it's not perfect. I know there's bad places in Hawaii. I know stuff happens in Hawaii. It's just one of those things, but in general, North Carolina, I mean, you're right, man. It's an amazing state. Um, it really is. I have no qualms. I don't plan on leaving here anytime soon. Anytime soon. It just has so much to offer, and as of right now, it's still affordable. 10, 15 years from now, I can't say that's going to be the case. There are always going to be other areas that are affordable, but if you're talking about the Charlotte area and the suburbs around Charlotte, if you're within a 30 to 45-minute drive of Charlotte, those areas are affordable now, but they will not be in 10 to 15 years, which might take you, an hour and 15 minutes outside of Charlotte. That's why I'm very excited to start building my real estate portfolio and, having the opportunity to retire off that and, go from there. But I will tell you, it is chilly today. Come on, guys. We got 13 people in here. Drop some questions for me. Like I said, anything real estate related and or personal, I don't mind. I'm an open book. And for any of you that are watching, if you've never met me before, I mean, this is just, you're talking to me. You're not talking to somebody that makes a video and acts a certain way, and then when you meet them in person, they're a totally different person. I'm not like that. I am who I am, and most of the people that do reach out to me, I mean, we get along very well because something obviously clicks, which is always nice. But drop some more questions down below, and we'll take it from there. There was a recent house that popped up in my neighborhood, man, and I'm gonna take a look at it tomorrow, but I'm not getting in a bidding war over it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens because it's priced very good, very good. Anybody else? Where are you guys from? So far, we have San Francisco. So far, we have Brooklyn, New York, and who else? Sean Lee said under market value. No, it's they did some light renovations, paint and carpet and things like that. I wouldn't say under market value. I'd probably say right at market value. But I will say that if you do, if you were to buy this house, depending on your interest rate and credit score, your monthly payment would be under 50.